Hello, my friends, and welcome to a space where pleasure is treasured, relaxation is not what you think it is, and life firing on all cylinders is what we're about. If you are somebody who wakes up every day asking for way more, consider this your happy place. Welcome to the Creation of Living podcast. I'm your host, Heather Nichols. Let's dive in. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Creation of Living podcast. I am going to do a quickie this week. I'm coming to you from Prague in the Czech Republic, and I'm here for the Access Consciousness Global Foundation class, which starts tomorrow. And I wanted to record something kind of a spontaneous, we went, outside of our plan for what today's podcast was going to be, to just play with the idea of the beauty of living beautifully, and the elegance of living and the elegance of creation. I was in Dubai a couple days ago, and I was planning on doing an elegance of creation class there. And at the last minute, we didn't have a whole lot of registrations, and I really my body was like, I want a spa day, which was part of why I went to Dubai. I am very weird and very different, and I love just like the beauty and hedonism of the world, like being alive and enjoying my body. And that's a huge part of what the Creation of Living is about for me. And so there's a spa in Dubai that I absolutely love. It's called the Taliz Ottoman Spa. It's in the Jumeirah Zabil Sarai Hotel on the Palm, which is kind of a famous, interesting creation in Dubai. And this spa is it's so beautiful. And I was in Bahrain, and I was like, if I'm that close to Dubai, I'm going to go to the spa. So I chose to go to Dubai, basically to go to the spa. And I thought, well, let's have a class while I'm there. I'm going to be there in November for a 3-day body class. Let's see who wants to get together. And the class was one of those, like, it was just sort of like not really, like, a lot of things were delayed in getting it out to the world. And it just wasn't just smooth and flowing like so many other class creations are and can be. And to me, that's part of the elegance of creation, is just knowing, like, when something isn't just like really showing up with ease and joy and glory, like the mantra of Access Consciousness. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. When there isn't a sense of like just flow to a creation, sometimes there's something different required. And so I asked, and it was like, okay, well, what if we just do it online? And then it was like, because there were some people that were planning on coming, but they hadn't registered yet. And then it was like, well, okay, if we're going to do it online, I could do it next week from when I'm at the castle in Italy. And so I changed it, and I ended up having this incredibly beautiful day. It was just one day in Dubai, and just so much beauty, and really taking care of my body, and having my spa day, and just like really like giving myself a day. And that's one of the tools of Access Consciousness that has been really powerful for me, that I think very few people know about and very few people use, which is to take an hour a day and a day a week just for you. And I started doing this when my kids were very young. And it was one of those things where I was like, I'm a single mom. I don't know how I can get an hour a day just for me, but I'm gonna try, And I basically just started choosing it. And I started literally like putting it in my calendar. I would block out days, and I still do. And sometimes you have to go far ahead in your calendar to, see when you can block out a day. But I really recommend doing it and seeing what it creates. I started asking the universe to sort of like contribute to this. Like, hey, universe, I'd like to have a day a week just for me. Definitely an hour a day. That was easier to carve out. But, give me, like, I'd like to have a day a week just for me and my body. And it would show up in the coolest of ways where, like, I might have a day where I was home with my kids all day, but they were particularly calm and really contributing to me that day, you know? So it didn't always look like I was alone and just really like having a spa day, you know? But it was this sense of like, today was a day for me. And my kids even honored that. And it was so magical and not something that I could have like tried to create. Like if I had set them down and said, today you're going to be quiet, today's a day for me, like that would have never worked. Anybody that has kids knows that that's not something that works, you know? But when we ask the universe and we're willing to gift ourselves that kind of beauty, that kind of luxury, that kind of honoring and attention, and include ourselves in our priorities, really, so much opens up from there. And it really is the choice for that that creates the opening, that creates what shows up after. If you don't choose to honor you, prioritize you, take care of you and your body, it won't happen. Like it just won't happen. But if you do make that a priority, then the universe starts to just move and shift and change and adjust so that you actually get to have that. And it's an incredible thing to really live from this knowing, this acknowledgement that our choice is the first thing that needs to come first. And from there, there's creation. And so with this hour a day and day a week, just for you, to me, that is so much a part of, it's like it expands our receiving dynamically. And because we start to prioritize ourselves and we start to prioritize pleasure and elegance and beauty and living and really living beautifully. And because, and a lot of times on those days, sometimes I won't even know what to do, which is cool. Because, you know, so many of us are so busy and so occupied and so scheduled that we don't even have time to be like, well, what do I do? If I wasn't gonna like work today or do my normal thing, you know, what would I do? What would I do if I spent a whole day just for me? And it's a great kind of question to put ourselves in, and it's a great thing to explore, like make ourselves uncomfortable. When we make ourselves uncomfortable with a new choice that is an honoring of us that we haven't chosen before, you have to stretch into finding out what that's going to be. And again, your choice comes first. So for me to, like, when I was in Dubai, to have this day where it was like, I'm gonna postpone the class, like that's what my body is asking for, and I'm going to wake up and I'm going to follow the energy. I have the whole day to see what it is that my body desires to do. And there were some things that surprised me. Like I thought about maybe going shopping, and I was like, I don't think I want to go to a mall. I think I'm going to want to just be quiet and, you know, be in my space. And it was like after breakfast, my body was like, let's go to the mall. I'm like, okay. So, and that was just, and it was like when we give ourselves the space to just like not have anything going on, not be scheduled, have this, like, I'm gifting me, I'm honoring me, I'm gifting me pleasure and beauty and elegance and the joy of being alive, then you get to find out what that is for you. You get to have the luxury and the joy and the exploration of living in 10-second increments, which is another access consciousness tool where it's like you choose based on what shows up every 10 seconds and see what that is. And that is like, I can't even stress enough how much of a luxury that is. And also the levels of courage that it can take sometimes to live from that space. Because everybody else is like always getting shit done, busy, scheduled. Like that's how we're so used to living our lives. But when we live that way, there's a level of like refusal of receiving. So when we give ourselves a gift of this hour a day, day a week, just for you, just for your body, you're stepping into a new space of receiving that is really different. And I encourage you to explore that, to find out, what that is for you. If you had that kind of space, you might think it's impossible, but just choose it, make it a priority, try to get it in your calendar, or get it in your calendar. Don't even try, just get it in your calendar and see what shows up. This is something that increases our receiving in every way. And that was one of the things that I saw when I was in Dubai is I could feel my business relaxing and growing. A lot of times our businesses, they don't want us to breathe down their neck. Like our businesses are, they have an energy of their own, and they have a consciousness of their own. And just like anybody, like if you think of another person, if you were constantly breathing down somebody's neck and like having your attention on them all the time, they wouldn't like that. You wouldn't like that, right? Our businesses don't like that either. And when we're trying to get a lot of growth to happen or change something or really get things moving in our businesses, it's so easy to think, well, if I do more and I focus more and I try more and I breathe down my business's neck, somehow I'm going to be able to like force that to happen. But it's a lot of times the opposite happens where we start to diminish because we have the point of view that nothing is going to show up if we don't put blood, sweat, and tears into it. So when you back off and you take that space for the day, for you, then your business is like great, and you start to cultivate this space of relaxing into receiving and allowing your business to grow and your life to grow from a space of receiving rather than a space of doing. It's a very different way of functioning. It's not something that necessarily shows up overnight, but it's all of these beautiful tools in Access Consciousness that have taught me so much. And I've had to really put them into use and like engage them in my life and choose to be different, choose that hour a day, that day a week, and to not go into judgment when I want to go into judgment and to not freak out when I want to freak out. There's so many tools that I live every day that facilitate this becoming a reality more and more all the time, where I could be having a spa day in Dubai and my business is just growing as a result of that. Like that's an amazing space to function from, an amazing way to live. But it like there's so much being and like substantialness of like presence with ourselves that is behind that we need to choose. And the Access Consciousness Foundation class is an amazing set of tools that give you so much of, what that like tools that you can pick up and use in your daily life to create that. And there is one happening tomorrow in Prague and also online. You can jump in if you've done a bars class, you can jump in at the last minute online. I will be doing one in Hungary this summer in Budapest, July, I believe it's July 3rd, and also one in Boulder, Colorado, where I live in August. I think it's in mid-August. You can look on my website to find out more. And lastly, the Business Done Different class I want to mention, because that is also a very dynamic class that gives us these tools and like how to put these tools in action in the creation of business from a really different space and having this space of business as receiving. And that is also a class that I facilitate and will be offering online as a program. So it'll be one call a week for 10 weeks, an hour and a half each time. That starts at the end of May. And it changes and explodes my business every time, and everybody else that I've known as well. It's like a very essential toolbox for living in this way. And I think everybody thinks that it would be great to be able to chill out, relax, have a spa day, have your business grow, and it really does take being willing to function from a different space, which to me requires very different tools, put into action moment by moment, day by day in our lives. And that's what I invite you to. However you give yourself access to those tools, I invite you to that space, because it is, if it's something you desire, you know it. And it's possible. It's possible for all of us. So thank you so much. A quickie podcast for you today. And how does it get better than this? Bye for now. Thank you for joining me for the Creation of Living podcast. If this conversation was inspiring to you, share the love. To work privately with me or for info on my upcoming classes and retreats, go to heathernichols.com. Have a beautiful day, and remember that the world thrives when you do.